Okay, y'all, so this would be my last upload today. This was just like a part 2 from what I had been saying. But basically, I was just thinking about how, it scares me to only have one of us really in position because I'm sorry, y'all, I really don't want my kids to be on here. They know how I feel about them being online, so I don't know why he right here. But I am just one of them people where I know the downside of not being in position, and being able to rely and depend on yourself. And I look at it all the time, like if something was to happen to, the boy's dad, I would basically be out here scrambling to figure everything out. And it's just always good for two people to both have and to both be working towards goals, because God forbid something could happen to either one of us, and why would we have, either one of us set up and just depended on the other to do it all, So I do feel like keep on working towards whatever it is you're trying to build, and then also don't give up. If you're in a situation where you would need to rely on somebody to do one thing, then work on what you can where you don't have to rely on nobody. Like me, I know I'm in charge of being able to build my own channel, working on my content on YouTube. And to anybody I look familiar to, this is not my first channel. Like the first time I ever got on here, it was actually to rap. And I had a couple on there, on here rather. And my most popular one or whatever, outside of the one I did around the time that George Floyd passed, it was like a remake to Big Boy Diamonds. So that rap Big Boy Diamonds, I ain't got it yet, but I'm try to stop me from flying. I keep shit private. Don't worry about who the pilot, and don't be checking my mileage. I ain't got signed yet, plan and purpose. I'm worth pen and pad. I'm working. When my son heard it, he said, "Mom, you raw, go cook these, no turkey." So yeah, that, for example, that was me. But once I had turned like 30, 31, you just start to kind of feel like you too old to be trying to rap, So then this was around the time that Trump was running again. So people was on there trying to say MAGA rap, which was super weird because in any way, not in any way did anything that I rap about have anything to do with Donald Trump. So that was weird to me. But and then I tried to like kind of get my whole house on board with that. Like, people popping off every day. It'd be a new star emerging every day. We got to put this work in. And I would have the kids running all through my videos. He wouldn't want to try to help to sit them down, dad that is. And it would just be super chaotic. So I kind of feel like even with that, I had kind of gave up on it just because I couldn't get in an environment to be in a creative space. Like with something like that, you would want to go to a studio, you know what I'm saying, and really get the chance to be in a creative space like other artists. So then once I scratched that, I kind of popped back up on my channel, of course showing contents with the birds and stuff that we had. So then once they flew away, I really didn't have that content to blog really regarding them anymore. So that was that. So now, my most recent idea I thought of was just the everyday stuff I do around the house with my kids, being a mom and showing what that looks like for us. So, and for me. So, that's where I'm at with it now. So I know it may take time to kind of build on my new channel, just because for the few people who get hit to you when you emerge, the downside of growing discouraged, not staying consistent, whatever the case may be, you kind of might lose that start with people, because they might feel like, once I get so far along with my support with this person, they stuff disappear, they delete stuff, they da 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 da. So I'm trying to get better even with that myself. And even with YouTube, you kind of go through this thing, and I see a lot of black content creators deal with this too, where you struggling with whether or not it's racism, whether or not the algorithm is really set up for us as black content creators. Going back to the point that like Cardi made, you get people like Mr. Beast who do super well, and then you got people that's doing a lot of same content whose skin color looks like mine, and it's much harder for them to get a start. So I'm just trying to stay true to who I am, and not kind of show ignorance or embarrass myself in order to get an opportunity, because it seemed like when you look like us, those are the things they expect you to do in order to make money. But then they can just simply, do blogs with their kids, show everyday routine and everyday life, and people are more intrigued by it. And I think that it's one of two things. I think that one of them, of course, being, that a lot of people are just still kind of coming into in 2023, even the mindset that, everybody looks different. Success looks different these days, and it has no one set skin color, no one set background, no one set religion, and so on and so forth. And I do think there's a lot of people that are still living in that. They want the people who they consider, successful and wealthy to look like a certain thing. And before you know it, it'll affect like the way you carry yourself, the way you feel like you should look, and so on and so forth. But I do believe that though it's hard, you can still stay true to who you are and still have success online or whatever the case may be. So, me being at that stage in my life now, I just want to stay true to that. But I will say that, like, even in my experience, when I had did the whole bird channel thing, and we had our pets at the time, Bumblebee and Sting, God bless them. It did seem like my content was starting to pick up. Like, I had got as much as like 292 views on, one video where we were trying to put Sting back in the cage. So then I noticed that in a lot of those videos, you couldn't really necessarily tell that I was black. Like when I first started posting my shorts and things like that for our birds. But then I noticed that, like, once I would, get in the video and show me vacuuming and cleaning up after the birds, now I have to show my hand. People see it's brown, and so it seems like it did, in a sense, mess up the algorithm for me. But I have to stay true to who I am too, and I don't ever want to get on here and not seem too black, or let me not seem too urban. Let me not show this certain part of my house because it don't look good enough, and just really try to beat those odds of, what the journey to success should look like. And so that's just where I'm at with it. This was kind of just my, rant and venting about what type of day I've had, the things that I've experienced. And I really hope that this can help somebody else. Even if you just listen to it to say, okay, I knew I wasn't crazy. I kind of went through that too, or I noticed that too, and just finding common ground with things. And then also, as black people, just making sure that we don't do anything to feed the narrative. Like, and in saying that, taking the time out to really give acknowledgement to victims who are missing, people who have not been found, people who really have gone through different things. And I look at the case even with Carly Russell. I'm glad I didn't speak up or had said anything initially, because there were loopholes in the story, and I wanted to see how everything played out. And I really think even in her case, it only got the national attention it got because she lied. What would be the difference if you ask yourself, between all of the black women who are really missing, who don't get the national attention? It's because I don't feel like a lot of the media sources, or, whoever you want to call the powers that be, have a true desire to really shed light on what happens in inner city communities, and poverty-stricken communities, if you will, in urban areas. And so I really feel that that's a lot of why they picked it up, because I believe they knew that the girl lied through doing their own investigation a lot sooner than we knew as the public. And so, of course, they're going to help to drag it out, as to say, look at these types of women. This is what they do. They allege that they're missing and they be laid up with somebody, or they get mad that somebody didn't want to this and that, so this is what they did. And then that'll put a stigma over all of us. And then that'll make people a little less apprehensive to look next time, and so on and so forth. So I'm learning as an adult, and especially as a black woman, to not do anything to like feed into like the narratives that they already put out here about us. That's why sometimes I even wear my hair straight. You know, every once in a while I will get a relaxer just to show that versatility of, just because I'm black, it doesn't mean that I have to have nappy hair. Like, just because my hair is silky one day, it doesn't mean that it's a wig. Some people grow hair like this from their scalp. Like, it's possible. But, you know, when you've only been around a certain thing or only seen a certain type of people for so long, you just think that of all of us. And there are a lot of different levels and complexities to our people, the same way that it would be with any other group of people. We're not all like one thing, you know. And so I just got on here more so, like I said, to encourage myself and to stay motivated. Even if you have days where, okay, today I didn't make progress, today I didn't accomplish what I wanted to, as long as you keep loving yourself, being proud of what you are doing and who you are, I do really believe that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So everybody, once again, have a great and awesome day. This is the end of my ranting, my venting, and peace out.